finally, we're going to talk about you. My childhood enemy, Super Mario Sunshine. For as much fun as I've had with this game as a kid, it was met with an equal amount of pain and suffering. This game is a weird one in the Mario series. Released not as a launch title for the Nintendo GameCube, but as a 2002 tentpole release, Super Mario Sunshine is often regarded as the black sheep of the 3D Mario series for a variety of reasons. Does it deserve this tempestuous reputation? Let's take a look. Welcome to Supervillain Reviews, the show where I, Knight Paradox, the world's ultimate supervillain, review the games of today and yesterday in order to take over the world. From the very first cutscene, Super Mario Sunshine finds a way to be a strange follow-up to Mario 64. Full voice acting in a Mario game. It's just so odd. I'm used to it now, but I'm sure this was a shock back in 2002. It doesn't help that it's kinda bad. Regardless, let's get on with the actual plot. Mario, Peach, newcomer Toadsworth, and a swath of nameless toads are on vacation to Isle Delfino, a tropical resort destination. When they arrive, they find that the island has been terrorized by someone who the residents claim to be Mario, spraying graffiti all over the resort. Why do the residents think Mario did it? Because apparently this guy looks exactly the same as him. I cannot stand this plot point, okay? Beyond the fact that Mario wasn't even on the island when all of this went down, Shadow Mario is fucking blue! Are the residents just stupid from years of living at a tropical resort? This is almost as bad as Sonic being mistaken for Shadow in Sonic Adventure 2! Ugh, whatever. Mario is charged, in what might as well be a drumhead court, with cleaning up the graffiti from the entire island, as well as collecting the lost shine sprites that power the island, and so our game begins. Mario also discovers a water pack named Flood, built by Professor Egad in a cool bit of continuity, who tags along to help clean up the island. As you would expect, Peach is eventually kidnapped, because of course she is, and we discover that it isn't actually Bowser behind the plot this time. In fact, it's Bowser Jr. in his very first appearance. He did all this because he thinks Peach is his mama, and he decided to kidnap her back from Mario. Then we get the infamous scene where Peach has to actually think about whether or not Junior is her child.
Mama, Peach! I'm your mama?
Just gonna leave that alone. Forever. After quite a lot of shine collecting, Mario reaches Corona Mountain. Am I going to be demonetized for saying that, by the way? And finds Junior, along with his father, bathing high in the sky on their own vacation. Lucky bastards. After a pretty anticlimactic battle, Bowser and Junior are defeated and the day is saved, except Flood dies. For about 12 seconds anyway. Dude is fine. The game ends with a catchy credits theme and a montage of all the characters enjoying their vacation, which I honestly probably wouldn't even be able to enjoy after the bullshit the Isle Delfino residents just put me through, but you know, that's just me. Overall, the plot of this game is just another standard Mario plot, so I can't criticize it too hard. It gets the job done, but man is it really stupid. Not in a fun way either, just a dumb way. But a bad plot can be saved by the gameplay being good. So, does Super Mario Sunshine have good gameplay? Well, it's a little complicated. On one hand, this is the absolute tightest control in any Mario game. Mario controls like an absolute dream, and I didn't find myself frustrated by the controls at any point during my entire adventure. The GameCube controller is the perfect fit for this game's high-flying maneuvers, of which many return from Super Mario 64. The flip jump, the spin jump, the wall jump, triple jump, all of them find their way back to this game and they feel great. You can dive too, enabling quick traversal of the worlds, as well as affording... Strangely enough though, the crouch is gone, which means the backflip is gone too. Mario also can't punch anymore, but that's basically useless anyway when you have Flood at your disposal. Speaking of Flood, let's talk about him. Flood is that water pack riding on Mario's back, and he provides a lot of changing up for the gameplay in this game compared to the other Mario games. Using Flood, you can shoot water straight ahead of you to clean up goop or battle enemies. This game was basically Power Wash Simulator before that ever existed. On top of that, you can change Flood into one of 3 separate modes depending on which nozzle you pick up. First is the hover nozzle, which is your basic one. It allows you to, well, hover in midair, giving you more airtime, making a lot of jumps easier to pull off. Next is the rocket nozzle, which when charged up will launch you into the air for some high-flying acrobatics. Finally is the turbo nozzle, which sees probably the least use out of the entire set, and isn't even needed to beat the game normally. Charging it up shoots you off like a bullet train and allows Mario to run at high speeds. Flood is a fun, albeit underutilized aspect of the gameplay. I think if he was able to use all of his modes at once, instead of being limited to only 2, the level design could have been adapted to suit Mario having so many abilities at once. Just imagine the possibilities from being able to use the rocket nozzle and the turbo nozzle in the very same level. The D-pad is completely unused in this game when it could have been used to switch nozzle modes. Oh well, it's no use talking about what could have been as opposed to what is. Yoshi also makes his 3D debut in this game. You unlock him about halfway through the game, and he's a pretty fun addition. Instead of squirting water, Yoshi is able to squirt fruit juice, ew, in order to turn enemies into platforms and dissolve goo to open secret areas. He can also flutter jump like in his own game. Yoshi is kinda underutilized, however. He's only needed for a few specific shine sprites in the main adventure, so I don't have much to say about him, besides again saying ew, gross. So the controls in this game are fantastic. Yoshi is fun. Flood is pretty good too. It's in the level design that this game starts to falter. The first problem is the infamous 7 shine per stage limit. In order to beat this game, you must complete the first 7 shines of each stage, ending in a battle against Shadow Mario every time. This presents a pretty major problem. Don't like a particular shine? Want to experience the game differently in a new playthrough? Want to skip a shine that you can't beat, which is very likely considering the fact that this game can get very hard? Tough shit. You have to beat that 7th shine in every level or you're not seeing the ending of this game. It's not a great design choice. Even other 3D platformers from this era like SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom knew that giving the player choices was a good idea, and it kinda astounds me that Nintendo didn't get the memo here, considering that they had it so right in the last game. They eventually learned their lesson because this design philosophy doesn't really reappear in other 3D Mario games. Within those 7 shines per level, however, are a lot of winners. There are some fantastic levels in this game that really test your platforming skills and allow you to experience the gorgeous world design on display in this game. Every world is designed to feel like a real location that you can platform around, and I found that they excel at that feeling. From the rolling green landscape of Bianco Hills to the dizzying heights of Noki Bay, there are no worlds in this game that I dislike from a design perspective. What helps the worlds in this game are the fantastic graphics and music. For a 2002 GameCube game, I still think this game holds up spectacularly. Every world is huge and colorful, and they all look distinct. You couldn't mistake the colorful and fun atmosphere of Pina Park with the calm and beautiful look of Serena Beach. While the game does lack anti-aliasing, it still looks really nice in 480p mode if you have the cables to access it. On top of these gorgeous visuals is an absolutely stellar soundtrack that's just full of bangers. A lot of these tracks just have my head bopping the entire time. Take a listen. Moving back to the gameplay again, we have to talk about the secret levels. I do not like these. Upon entering certain levels, Shadow Mario will steal Flood from off of you, and for some reason doesn't think to keep the damn thing after the level is done. So, in order to beat the level, you're left with only your wits and your basic platforming abilities. These levels are nerve-wracking for one specific reason. This game's kind of shitty collision detection. Because you don't have Flood, you have to be very, very precise with your jumping, which is kind of a problem when you're faced with this game's questionable collision. I think this clip speaks for itself. It's not a major problem, but my hands sweat every time I have to do these levels. Also, the Chuckster level can burn in hell! However, my biggest criticism with Super Mario Sunshine, besides the 7 shine limit, is the abundance of gimmick levels. What do you want to do in a 3D platformer? Well, that should be obvious. Platform, of course. You want to test your skills and reach the end of the game. So what does Super Mario Sunshine have you do? Well, sometimes it has you do platforming, But a lot of the time you're doing weird bullshit that has nothing to do with Mario's core moveset. Corralling chain chomps into a bathtub, writing bloopers that control like ass while avoiding one-hit kill collisions with walls, riding a roller coaster and shooting rockets into a robotic Bowser's head. These are just a few examples, but on a 50 shine run, they really add up. There's even more if you go for 100% completion. Speaking of which, you might be asking, hey Paradox, did you in fact go for 100% completion? To that I say, beyond the fact that I simply don't want to torture myself by doing the infamously bullshit difficult 100% completion, I also want my reviews to be from the perspective of a more average player. That's why I decided to just do the basics and go for the ending, because that's what I feel like most players are going to do anyway. Part of my reason for disliking 100% completion so much are the blue coins. These little guys are everywhere. For every 10 blue coins you obtain, you can trade them in for a shine sprite. Not going to question the legality of this. There are, I am not joking here, 240 blue coins in this game. Jesus Christ! Making this worse is that you cannot track them. If you want to get the blue coins, be prepared to bust out a guide because they are not easy to find. I barely have footage of me picking them up because I just did not want to bother for this revisit. Maybe it's unfair of me to critique the game if I haven't completed all of it, but I honestly disagree. This is my video on my experiences with Super Mario Sunshine, and if I decide to do the bare minimum needed to complete the game, then that's my decision. What the fuck did you just say to me? Overall, despite my criticisms, I still honestly recommend Super Mario Sunshine. That might sound absolutely insane, but it's true. If you're solely going for a 50 shine, basic as all hell run just to beat the game, it's a pretty fun time. It's short, sure, but it's got a lot of high points. Just don't 100% it. Don't even bother. It's one of the worst 3D platformers to 100%, and it has earned that reputation. Now where's my cup of delicious Yoshi fruit juice? Freshly squeezed. I'm going to stop with this joke now.